first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello and welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. I appreciate everybody joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and we do this every weekday starting at 1 o'clock and going all the way until our 4 p.m. news. And we get to cover a wide range of topics, and some of them are pretty fun, like this one, talking about Oregon History Day for 2026. We're going to discuss what that is, how all the students that are involved with this, and how it all came together. To do so, we are joined now by Katie and Kerry, and both of you, thanks for being here with us from the Oregon Historical Society, and talking about just something that really seems to be very much in the wheelhouse of the Oregon Historical Society, and just celebrating that history of the state and everything that has. And to talk about this, I don't know who would like to go first, but if you wouldn't mind giving us just an overview of what Oregon History Day is.
Turn it over to Katie. This is Kerry Tymchuk here, the executive director, and I think probably all of your viewers are familiar with the National Spelling Bee. This is Spelling Bee, only all things history, and so a variety of projects that kids do, students do to talk about history. And Katie Pearson is our head of education here at OHS, and she's manages and oversees History Day, and it's so exciting. Oregon winners are sent on to nationals. So Katie, tell them all about it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kerry. As Kerry mentioned, I'm Katie Pearson. I am the Senior Education Manager at the Oregon Historical Society and the Oregon History Day Coordinator. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Oregon History Day, Kerry did a lovely job of explaining that it's like the National Spelling Bee. Sometimes we jokingly call it the science fair for the social sciences, because in History Day, students are able to complete a research project based off of a broad annual theme. They can conduct their research and create a project that is a documentary, exhibit, paper, performance, or website, and they can do this individually or in groups. And then students who complete a project are eligible to participate at the Oregon History Day contest, which will be held this Saturday at Willamette University. And at the contest, students present their project to a team of judges who interview them and evaluate their projects. Students who place in the top 2 of their category are then eligible to advance to the National History Day contest, which is held near Washington, D.C. At the national contest, students compete against students from all 50 states, as well as having opportunities to tour Washington, D.C. This year, students will be meeting with both Senators Wyden and Merkley, as well as going on a special tour of George Washington's Mount Vernon.
That's a lot brought into one thing. I mean, that's really, incredible. And how long has this been going on?
Well, National History Day just celebrated their 50th anniversary last year, so about 50 years.
Last 50 years. And with Oregon History Day, you mentioned, that there's all of these students coming together. Where do they all come from? Is that from all over the state? And how many are involved?
Absolutely. So it is statewide participation. This year we have students not only from the Portland metro area, but from Crestwell, Scappoose, Hood River, Bend, Silver Falls, as well as from Redmond. We have 160 students. These are middle and high school students who are participating, as well as several independent students who are participating individually in the program. And,
there's sometimes a bit of a, let's say, a stigma that maybe kids aren't interested in history, or that, they don't care about that, or they want to look at their phones, or whatever it is. This is obviously proving the opposite of that. So what is it you think about history that does draw in, younger people to want to participate in something like this and learn about the amazing history that's here?
Well, I always like to quote the great historian David McCullough, who once said that history is who we are and why we are the way we are. History is who we are and why we are the way we are. And at its best, history is stories of life and death and victory and defeat and accomplishment and failure and all that went before us. So, and as Katie can tell you, studies show that students who do well in history do well in other topics as well, because it gives them a solid background in studying and in academics and research and all that you need to be a good student. Isn't that right, Katie?
I absolutely agree with that. I think one of the strengths of the History Day program, Greg, is that it allows student choice. So there's a broad annual theme. This year it's Revolution, Reaction, Reform, and History. And students can research any topic that connects to that. So students are able to pick topics that are of interest to them, that are of relevance to them, that help them connect with their identities and also the lived experiences of their communities. It is exciting for them, and it allows them to have that opportunity to not only research it, but also present it in a public place where they can be celebrated.
And one of the categories, Greg, is documentary. And some of these documentaries, you would think Steven Spielberg made them. I mean, they are so professional to be made by junior high and high school students. It's just, it knocks your socks off.
It's true.
And telling the stories, yeah, as you mentioned, you know, the stories of the community, but also and the history, but also bringing it into relevance for them in their personal lives, which I think that seems to be such an important thing too for people to make those connections to history and realize, you know, this is something that happened, but it's just before us. You know, we're still part of this as well. If that made any sense, but yeah. But it's just really sounds like just a lot of fun. And, you know, for an event like this, you know, what do you think is the most important thing the public should know about Oregon History Day and this event that's taking place there at Willamette?
I think it's really important for all Oregonians to understand that students are connected to our history and that students are looking for ways that they can find themselves in our history, and also to be thinking about broader connections that we can have with each other, right? History isn't one linear story. It's a network. It's a webbing. And students completing these research projects creates opportunities for them to see the interconnections that happen with history. Also, I would just say, anyone who thinks that students are not excited about history, I would encourage you to listen to audio from our award ceremony, because the amount of screaming that happens and the joy that is there is deafening in the most beautiful, wonderful way.
And this is taking place. Can you let everybody know, you know, kind of the details of, again, of when and where this is taking place?
Yes, absolutely. So it is this Saturday at Willamette University. We are always looking for more volunteer judges who are interested in participating in the program and ultimately fostering a love of history in students. So what I would encourage your viewers to contact ohs.org, go to our website, learn more about the program and ways that you can be involved in the 2027 contest.
I love
and
that.
Greg, the Oregon Historical Society has such deep connections with our students in schools beyond this. We provide curriculum to teachers. All school tours are free at our museum here in Portland. So we are constantly reaching out to educators and students around the state, trying to get them involved and interested in all things history.
That's great. Yeah, those like touring exhibits and things like that. And you mentioned volunteer judges. I was curious, how does that work? What does a judge do?
That is a lovely question, and thank you for asking it. So we need volunteer judges in order to host this program. This year we have about 70 volunteer judges who are in the process of evaluating projects. And on Saturday, we'll be at the contest to meet and interview students and learn more about their projects. Judges do not need to have a background in history. We are looking for people who can offer positive, constructive feedback for students and help students feel confident and celebrated in their work. Judges undergo asynchronous training so that they get an overview of how the contest works, how to evaluate projects. And then they work in teams with 2 to 3 other judges who will meet with students and evaluate the work at the day of the contest.
Very cool. And Kerry, to ask too, just how can people get involved with the Oregon Historical Society?
www.ohs.org. We also welcome volunteers here, but we do so many activities. The Marco Hatfield Lecture Series with another wonderful lecture coming up next week. Our exhibitions are always fascinating and change quite often. So come on down to OHS to see the exhibits and get involved.
All right. Well, thank you both so much, for joining us. Anything else important that you think people should know?
No, just again, as Katie said, how much fun it is and the excitement when they announce the winners and who first and second and qualify for nationals. You would think it's the Super Bowl and the World Series all wrapped into one. They're so excited.
So cool. Well, thank you both for what you do, and thank you for being here on the show on Fox 12 Now to talk about this and get the word out. And it sounds like you're going to have a whole lot of fun with this. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Bye.
And bye. And for everybody watching, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. But thank you for watching Fox 12 Now. These are part of the conversations that we could have, these longer form segments and interviews, just discussing these important things and fun things like this. That's part of the show. If there's breaking news, we do that as well. But you can find that all on the Fox 12 Oregon app. But we'll take this break. We'll be back here in a minute with more on Fox 12 Now.